episode 1 of how I met my old ass baby daddy.
I know you got all dressed up for the club. Waiting on Nick, come pick you up.
So I met my baby daddy, my kid's father. I don't like that word baby daddy because I feel like a baby daddy is like a sperm donor. A kid's father, like he still do for the kids, you know, like he's still in the kids' life. I don't agree with how my kid's father is in my kid's life. You know, with him trying to completely eradicate me, obliterate, and non-existence my ass in their life. I give credit where credit due. I'm not a hater. And I believe in karma. I believe in positivity and giving credit where credit is due. So although he is not allowing me to be in my kids' life, he is still a father to the kids. I know deep down inside, he don't realize how much resentment he's building for the kids to have towards him. Oh, where does this come from? Worse on camera, but anyways, how much resentment he's building with my kids by treating me this way. He is, nevertheless, he still is their father. So my kid's father he just turned 84. He was born in 1940. When I tell y'all this nigga birth certificate looked like when paper was just coming out to be written on, not written, to be written on. Like, it literally has like what whiteout looked like, but it's black, and it looked like somebody drew the lines on it. Like, that's how ancient history his birth certificate is. He was born in 1940, and on his birth certificate it literally says that his mother, her name, and her occupation was housewife, and then his father, his name, and then his father's occupation says farmer. It's crazy. And mad stories. He even took me back to where he was born, and it still looked country. It still looked like back in the days, slavery days. It looked black and white. Sylvania, Georgia. I don't know if it's Sylvania, not Savannah. Sylvania, Georgia. Very interesting little town. But nevertheless, he just turned 84. He's born in 1984. Yeah, he just turned 84 December 23rd, 2023. He'll be 85 this year, Lord's willing. And I'll be 32 in about 2 weeks, or maybe a week and a half. So yeah, it's a 52 age difference there. And I met this nigga, like, I'm ready to start telling the story. So I guess we can call this episode 1 of how I met my old ass baby daddy. I was going to school in Daytona Beach, Florida at Bethune-Cookman University, and I was working right across the street at Checkers Rallies. I think this was like my sophomore year in first semester, and one day he was coming through my drive-through. Now apparently, like, he's very well known where we're from, so everybody in that city, in the little town, knows him. They know of Mr. Riley, George Riley. They know him by his van. It's literally look like a little Scooby-Doo van. It's green and got the little yellow stripe on it. They call it the Scooby-Doo van, and it's got the Hemi in it. You can hear him before you see him, okay? But no, one day he was coming through the drive-through, and they was like, oh, there go Mr. Riley, or whatever. And I didn't know no better because I just started working there. I'm new in town, so I don't know nobody. I'm getting to know people as I'm at school, and then I'm meeting new people that's in the local area because of where I work at, right? And these people are people that live here, not just go to school there. So he come through the drive-through, and he asked for 2 apple pies. I think our apple pies then, we were selling them two for $1. So he wanted 2 apple pies, and then he asked for a chili dog. And then he had asked me, he was asking me over the speaker. I didn't know, I couldn't understand what he was saying. So I was like, just pull up. Because at this time, I knew how to work that drive-through, baby. Baby used to work that headset. You hear me? They used to love me in the drive-through. Any job, any fast food job I ever worked, they love me in the drive-through. And I love to be there because, baby, I get them tips, okay? But nevertheless, I was like, just pull up. So he pulled up, and he was like, put the car in park. Now, I ain't gonna lie. At this time, he was a handsome, and he do not look his age. I swear to God, he did not look his age. And at this time, he was only like 72, and I was like 18, about to be 19. one of them, or I probably already just had turned 19. But he was only like 72 at this time when I first met him. So he pulled up and he was smelling good. Now I love a man that smell good, baby. So boy, he did catch my attention because he smelled good. So I was like, oh, okay, you know. And he did. I didn't care about his van. I wasn't paying attention to his van, but he was the type of person that you could look at and he, like, his aurora, his stature of a man looked like he was somebody, and he smelled good, and he looked like, you know, he looked like somebody. Not now, you know how you can look at somebody, you can tell like they got money, but that's just from us. That's my perception of me looking at you, and then you can look at somebody and tell like, oh yeah, that's somebody. Like, that's what his aura gave me. So he put his van in park, and then he cut that mother. I'm like, you at my drive-through, we on the time, I ain't got time for that. Like, what's up? He was like, you can't hear me. I was like, yeah, you right. So he was asking me, was the hot dog that he ordered, was it beef or was it pork? And I was like, it's beef. Why, you don't eat pork? And he was like, yeah, no pork. And I was like, yeah, me neither. I don't eat pork neither. It's all beef. It's all beef or whatever like that. Then I was smiling. You know, I've got jobs with this smile. Done pulled a one or two with this smile, okay? So of course I knew I was hooking him in because I could tell how the way he was coming at me. So, but I wasn't off rip attracted to him. I just liked his vibe. I like his stature, and I liked the way, you know, he smelled. So he was just like, oh, let me take you out. And I think I had stole some rings from Charlotte Russe, y'all. So I had them on my fingers, and I had one. I was like, I'm putting this on my finger when I go to work. I purposely would put rings on my ring finger when I went to work because I didn't want nobody. I just didn't want to be bothered. I was in my, like, I'm focusing on school. I'm focusing on me, right? So he was like, I give him his order. So when I went to give him his order, he like grabbed my hand, and I was like, you know, like, I didn't snatch back, but I was just like, what's up? And he was like, let me take you out. And I was like, I'm married, I'm engaged. And he was like, well, you ain't married yet, is you? I was like, no, but I'm still with somebody. He was like, well, I just want to take you out of this. I was like, no, like, I'm good. And then he was like, okay, we'll see. And I was like, yeah, okay, we'll see. You know, I'm still smiling, whatever. Then I left by there. As soon as he drove off and I turned around to like go back to my crew, all of them motherfuckers in there looking at me like, bitch, that's Mr. Riley. I was like, some of them was hating, and some of them was like, girl, that's Mr. Riley. You better get in with him, you know. And then the other ladies, the older ladies, they was like, girl, yeah, Mr. Riley, he love him some young women. You got to be careful of him. Watch him. He love young women. And I was like, child, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't care about what he got and what he love. Ain't got nothing to do with me, right? So, another lady, Miss Sharon. I love me Miss Sharon. Hey, Sharon Barron, if you ever see this, whatever you do. Sharon sat me down. We was outside there. We was taking a smoke break. We was outside. We was smoking. And she was like, yeah, Mr. Riley, he a good man. Like, she ain't had nothing negative to say. She was just giving me the rundown. Like, he was married. She just know he used to mess with some girl in the projects, and he was taking care of her. Like, he was a real nice man. You know, like, she would just be a nigga. And I was like, okay, I don't care. I don't care. But lo and behold, like, I did from that first moment, that day that I met this man, y'all, every day, I tell you no lies, so help me God on my kids, every day, this man would come to my job, even when I wasn't there. And he was so like, the people in the city and the people that I work with, he was so well known and so like powerful. Like, I got bitches calling my phone about him, like, oh, he came up here looking for you. He asked about you. He asked when the next time you were. And then this would piss me off because I'm like, don't tell nobody when I work where I work at. Like, that's none of his business. Like, no, and I don't care. I'm not at work. Don't be calling me talking about he came out looking for me. We ain't doing that. But when I went to work, when I would go to work, I ain't gonna lie, he would make my days. Like, he would come in and every day, y'all, he was relentless for about a year and a half, I swear to God. And then finally one time I just I let him go get me lunch. I was like on my period, I was cramping real bad, and I was craving some Boston baked beans. I was craving some Boston baked beans and some dang on Bahama Breeze. I wanted that chicken with that little green sauce on it with the shrimp and potatoes and green beans on the side, and I wanted some Boston baked beans. So he was like, well, just order it, whatever you want, I'll go get it. Whatever you want, I'll go get it. And I was like, okay. So he went and got my lunch, and But this was maybe some months after me meeting him. I finally was like, all right, he keep asking me, he keep coming up here. I'm gonna finally just, I wanted lunch. So I was like, so he went and got my little Bahama Breeze. And then I was like, Boston baked beans. And he's like, I was like, yeah, the little 25-cent bucket. So when he came back to bring me my lunch, I was like, all right, just wait for me outside. I'm gonna take my lunch outside. So I went on my lunch break, y'all. I was so shocked. Like, yeah, I was so happy that he had got me my food. And then when I sat down and he opened the bag for the box, I was like, why you got me this big old bag? Girl, I opened the bag, y'all. It's 2 whole full-size Sam Club's boxes of Boston baked beans. Like, he just brought the whole dang boxes. He was not playing about me, okay? He was not playing, okay? Y'all, I thought that was so sweet. And I was like, okay. So we sat down. My first time sitting down talking to him, I took maybe an hour break, but we wasn't so busy, and my break was supposed to only be 30 minutes. But I think I ended up sitting down with him for an hour. And then from that moment, I knew I felt like this was somebody that I could talk to, and he could help me to grow mentally and spiritually. And that was it. Follow for more, part 2.